What if the greatest philosopher of his age was not the smartest man in the room? What if he was the slowest, the poorest, the one everyone laughed at? There was a man in ancient Greece who carried water by night and wisdom by day. They mocked him. They called him a donkey, and he smiled because he knew something they didn't. He knew that genius is overrated and that endurance conquers everything. His name was Cleanthes, and by the end of this video, you may never look at your own struggles the same way again. Picture a young man with the hands of a fighter. Before philosophy, before fame, Cleanthes of Assos was a boxer, a man who knew what it meant to be struck, to fall, and to rise again. He understood pain not as theory, but as flesh and blood. When he arrived in Athens, he carried almost nothing, just 4 coins to his name. 4. He wanted to study under Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, the school that would one day shape emperors and slaves alike. But wisdom in Athens was not free, and Cleanthes was no aristocrat with golden inheritance. So he made a choice, a brutal, beautiful choice. By day, he sat at Zeno's feet, drinking in philosophy, and by night, he hauled water from wells and ground flour in the gardens of the city. Labor in darkness, learning in light, year after year. The other students sneered. "How can this laborer understand anything?" they whispered. They called him slow. They called him an ass, a dull beast of burden. And Cleanthes, he agreed. "Yes," he said, "I am the ass, because only my back is strong enough to carry the load of Zeno's teaching." Let that sink in. He took their insult and turned it into armor. Here is the first truth Cleanthes offers you. Talent is loud. Discipline is silent. The brilliant students of Athens? History forgot most of their names. But Cleanthes, the slow one, the laborer, became the second head of the Stoic school. He inherited the throne of wisdom not through cleverness, but through relentless devotion. He studied for 19 years before he ever led. 19 years of carrying water. 19 years of being underestimated. And this is what you must understand. You are not behind because you are slow. You are not lost because the work is hard. The greatest achievements in human history were not built in a flash of brilliance. They were carved, slowly, by hands that refused to stop. So ask yourself, right now, what are you willing to carry? What weight will you bear in the dark, while no one claps, while no one watches? Because that quiet, stubborn labor is where greatness is born. Cleanthes believed in one guiding principle above all others: live in agreement with nature. But he did not mean trees and rivers. He meant something deeper. He meant living in harmony with the rational order of the universe and with your own true nature as a thinking, reasoning being. To Cleanthes, the cosmos was not cold and dead. It was alive, a single, breathing, intelligent whole. And every human soul was a spark of that vast, divine fire. Think about what that means for you. You are not an accident drifting through chaos. You are part of something rational, something ordered, something that makes sense, even when your life feels like it doesn't. So when you fight against reality, when you rage against what you cannot change, you create your own suffering. But when you align yourself with the flow of things, when you accept what is and act with reason, you find peace. This is not surrender. This is strength. The The river does not curse the rock. It flows around it, and in time, it wears the rock away. Be the river. Cleanthes left us a line that thundered through the centuries. The fates guide the willing and drag the unwilling. You will be moved by destiny either way. The only choice you have is how. You can resist, clawing, complaining, exhausted by every turn life takes. Or you can walk forward with open eyes and a steady heart, accepting your path while still giving it everything you have. This is the Stoic fire. And Cleanthes believed the soul itself was made of fire, warm, living, divine. A flame passed down from the very breath of the universe. But here is the truth about fire. A flame must be fed. Neglect it, and it dies. Tend it, and it grows into something that warms a home or burns down a forest. Your inner fire is the same. Your willpower, your character, your spirit. What are you feeding it? Distraction or discipline? Fear or purpose? Every single day, you are either tending your flame or letting it fade. In his greatest surviving work, the Hymn to Zeus, Cleanthes did something remarkable. He turned philosophy into prayer, into poetry, into reverence. He praised the divine reason that governs all things. He wrote of a universe held together not by chaos, but by law, by harmony, by an intelligence beyond our own.
And in that hymn, he asked for one gift above all: not wealth, not power, not glory, but the wisdom to live rightly, to play his part in the great order with honor. What would you ask for if you stripped away every petty desire? If you let go of the hunger for more? Cleanthes shows you that gratitude is not weakness, that awe is not foolish, that to stand before the vastness of existence and feel wonder is one of the noblest things a human being can do. Don't lose your sense of wonder. It is the beginning of all wisdom. And how did this man, this boxer, this water carrier, this quiet giant, meet his end? In his old age, a small illness forced him to fast for a few days. When the illness passed, the doctors told him he could eat again. But Cleanthes refused. He said he had already traveled so far down the road that he would not turn back now. Calmly, deliberately, without fear, he chose to let go. Some call it tragic, but understand what it truly was. It was the ultimate expression of his entire philosophy. A life lived in agreement with nature, and a death met with the same serene acceptance. No panic, no bargaining, no clinging, just a man at peace with the order of things, walking willingly into the dark. He had spent his whole life learning how to live, and in the end, he showed the world how to die. So what does this slow, stubborn, magnificent man leave behind for you? First, endurance beats talent, always. The world will underestimate you. Let them. Keep carrying the water. Second, make peace with reality. You cannot control the storm, but you can control how you sail through it. Be the willing one whom fate guides, not the unwilling one it drags. Third, tend your inner fire. Feed it daily with discipline, purpose, and wonder, because a soul, like a flame, only survives if you protect it. Cleanthes was never the smartest man in the room. He was something far rarer. He was the man who never quit. And maybe that's the real secret. Not brilliance, not luck, just the unbreakable will to keep showing up, again and again and again. So the next time the world calls you slow, the next time you feel behind, remember the donkey of Athens who carried wisdom on his back and became immortal. If this story stirred something in you, take a moment to reflect on it. Which of Cleanthes' lessons do you need most right now? The discipline? The acceptance? The fire? Let me know in the comments. I read every one. And if you'd like more journeys into the minds of history's greatest thinkers, consider subscribing. We're just getting started. Until next time, keep carrying your water and keep your fire burning.